Well, if the players have to win, of course, the person who carries the can and eventually the buck stops with is somebody that you've already told us on this bookmakers.com World Cup preview that you know a little bit, Brad, and that is the England manager, Gareth Southgate, who's a renowned good guy, nice bloke. Nice doesn't necessarily win prizes. He's on point with his waistcoats, but is he quite as adept at tactics, at formations, at the big calls when push comes to shove? Because I would contend that never since '66 will an England team have a better opportunity of a shot at winning a major prize than only, and it is only 16 months ago at Wembley Stadium, 1-0 up against Italy, and yet they froze. And on the sideline, many people, many observers, and they're not football professionals, they're observers, they're fans, they're watchers, they're journalists. Some of them are just professional moaners who like to have a dig. But whatever they are, come what may, England came up short when push came to shove, when the pressure was on. Does your friend Southgate have what it takes to steer England to the top of the tree and win a World Cup?
Yeah, and he is a nice guy, but he doesn't have a problem making hard decisions. There's when you play for a nation like England, and you usually whether it's a Euro Championship or a World Cup that you're playing in, you're expected to win by your media and by your fan base. It's not just a hope. You play, the Premier League is world renowned. It's renowned as one of the, if not the best league in the world. They expect the players to do well and to win. And when they come up short, they are going to find a scapegoat. Sometimes it's a player, sometimes it's the manager. I think what Gareth Southgate has at his disposal is a group of very, very good, talented players that do have the ability to win the World Cup. I do not think it's down to tactics by Gareth Southgate if they fall short. I think it's probably down to individual and collective team brilliance from another top footballing nation, as opposed to deficiencies in Gareth Southgate's managerial qualities.
Brad, I just want to, with loads to wade through, but just sticking with the England theme momentarily, to what degree do you think they have suffered any sort of a hangover in the last 16 months? Because their Nations League qualifying campaign has been different at best. They come into this tournament under a little bit of a cloud, if I'm honest, and yet the pressure is on them. And our sponsors for this bookmakers.com World Cup preview, Cobra Bet, will offer you something in the region of 7-1 about England to go on and win the tournament. And yet, do you subscribe that a team can operate, arguably a little bit like Liverpool this season in the Premier League, under what I'm going to call hangover?
Yeah, and this is an interesting one, a really difficult World Cup, really difficult Premier League to predict, because so I'll put it in perspective. Over here in MLS, in the US, all the players that get selected for tournaments are used to a World Cup being in the middle of the season. So now all of a sudden it's not. It's at the end of the season, and all the players who play in Europe, with the exception of maybe Germany, because they have a decent sized winter break, are not used to having events at this time. And then they're going to have to go back into their league and start an FA Cup and be in knockout competition or the knockout stages of European competitions. So added to the pressure of a World Cup, added to the quality of a World Cup, you also are seeing physically and mentally more tired players. We're seeing a few more injuries creep up that will knock players out of a World Cup because of the short lead up time to it. The odd hamstring injury that could be rectified before a summer World Cup, could keep players out of this World Cup. So with all being said, it is good players can come to the forefront and perform very well at the drop of a hat. Look at the game, I don't know if you watched Liverpool-Tottenham on the weekend. Liverpool was by far better than Tottenham at a talking to. Came out and Tottenham were outstanding in the second half. This England team, if you look, no matter what 26 players they name, they're on their given day. Saka, what a player. Foden, great player. Grealish can open up teams. Sterling can open up teams. Kane can score at any time against anybody. He's one of the best number 9s on the globe. So this team has the ability to do well. I think it's 7-1. That's not a bad pun.
Brad, I'm a skeptic, and even I'm starting to believe when I'm listening to you now.